If you love the Minnesota Vikings, all I want you to do is go down in the comments section and type me. This is going to be a channel dedicated to keeping you guys up to date on news, rumors, and at the end of the day, if you love the Vikings, I know you're going to love this channel, so go ahead and subscribe. You're watching Vikings Now by Chat Sports. Mitchell Renz here, ready to go through the latest news and rumors. And we're going to be talking a lot about some guys who might hit free agency. We're going to talk about the quarterback Kirk Cousins. But there was actually also some news that just went down. So let's start it off with this. So Chris Tomlinson, he went ahead and said that source confirms that the Rams passing coordinator / tight ends coach Wes Phillips will indeed be named the Vikings offensive coordinator. He has been the favorite for the job for nearly 2 weeks. Now, what I want to add to that is this. I understand that Phillips is going to be the guy that comes in as that's going to be the OC, but O'Connell, he's going to be the dude calling all the plays. Here's also what Thompson had to say. New Vikings offensive coordinator Wes Phillips at 43 is the son of former NFL coach Wade Phillips and grandson of legendary coach Bum Phillips. That's not a great first name there, Bum. He has worked with Kevin O'Connell in 4 of the past 5 seasons. So anytime you're going to go out and get a Phillips, obviously when you have that much coaching history, especially in the family, you're hoping that some of that is able to come down with you a little bit. And this actually just happened today from Tom Pelissero. The Vikings are hiring Matt Daniels as their special teams coordinator. Daniels, the 32-year-old former NFL defensive back, most recently was assistant special teams coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys. Now this team is continuing to make moves, and as promised, we keep you up to date, so go ahead and smash that subscribe button. The latest rumors buzzing around Minnesota is, at the quarterback position, Kirk Cousins. And a lot of people are starting to wonder, is Kirk just this, selfish dude? The report is that Cousins has absolutely no intention of taking a pay cut this year. He has a $45 million cap hit in 2022. And sure, if you decide to move on from Cousins, it can save them quite a bit of money, because if they decide to move on, it can save nearly, $35 million in overall cap space, which, I'm not going to lie, it's quite a bit of dough. Here's what Jordan Schultz had to say on Twitter about Cousins. Cousins has zero intention of taking a pay cut, sources say. I'm told an extension could pay Cousins around $40 million per year. Here's my take on this. Should be shocking literally nobody that Cousins is selfish. We knew this already. Whether it was the deal that he originally took with Minnesota, because let's face it, paying Cousins over $30 million a year, that's crazy. And with all these rumors circulating around some other quarterbacks getting 40, if you pay Kirk Cousins $40 million a year, you're never going to win. And on top of that, everything that happened this past year with COVID, Kurt was like, I'm not getting vaccinated. I don't care what y'all got to do. I'm going to do me, and that's just how it is. That is the definition of selfish. That's what Kurt is. So here's what he's done the last 4 years. And statistically, he's put up good numbers. 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I would say, thank you, Justin Jefferson. Thank you, Adam Thielen. Thank you, Dalvin Cook. And in 2020, 35 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Again, Justin Jefferson. Believe it or not, that guy's pretty damn good. But anybody watching this show right now, be honest with me, if the game is on the line, playoff game, God forbid the game's at night, would you want Kirk Cousins on the field? Would you want him as your quarterback? If your answer is no to that, then you should never pay him $40 million a year. Because if that's the type of money that he wants, he's going to be up here with these guys. Now, I don't know necessarily if Dak Prescott deserves $40 million, but the way that the Cowboys handled his whole contract situation, that's why he was at 40. Russell Wilson, he's looking for a new team. Deshaun Watson, he didn't even play this year. Yeah, I get it. Mahomes, Allen, those guys deserve it, and they might be the only 2 guys that deserve it right now, not named Aaron Rodgers. So be honest with me, guys. Is Kirk Cousins the guy in Minnesota? You wake up, you go to bed every night, you're like, you know what, I'm glad that Kirk Cousins is the quarterback of the Vikings. Y for yes, N for no. Personally, I think if you type your Y for yes, you need to check your noggin because, you're insane. Let's keep on breaking down some news and rumors here around the Minnesota Vikings. And a lot of people have been asking us on the channel, why did they not go out and hire Jim Harbaugh, head coach of the Michigan Wolverines? Well, Mike Wilf spoke on passing on Harbaugh as their next head coach and basically said that Kevin O'Connell was the best fit for the organization, and then Harbaugh went ahead and signed a new extension. Personally, I like the fact that Harbaugh stayed in college football. I think college football is better because of it. And not that I wouldn't have been entertained with Harbaugh being the Minnesota Vikings head coach. coach, but I also really like Kevin O'Connell. Here's what Mike Wilf had to say on passing on Harbaugh. We have tremendous respect for Jim. We had wonderful experiences conversing. Ultimately, we wanted to have a coach that would be the best fit, give us the best chance to win, and we feel very pleased with Kevin as our head coach. And he absolutely should. We did a show at Chat Sports about trying to predict where certain coaches are going to go. I figured O'Connell, with his connections with Mensa, that was going to be a logical hire. And if anybody's been watching how a lot of these Sean McVay guys have been doing, they've been doing a pretty darn good job. So he might be a little bit young. He might not have the household name like Harbaugh, but Kevin O'Connell's going to be a damn good head coach. So what do y'all think about this? Should the Vikings have hired Harbaugh instead of O'Connell? I want you to go ahead and type that 1 for yes, type 0 for no. It always comes down to money. It comes down to certain things, but I think that you guys are going to be really pleased with the job that Kevin O'Connell ends up doing. To keep up to date on news, rumors, free agency, everything going on the entire offseason, we're your one-stop shop. There's a lot of YouTube channels out there that do a lot of Vikings content, and I'm never going to take anything away from a content creator, but we're built different. We do a lot of shows around here. If you want to be the guy that when they walk into a bar that you know more about the Minnesota Vikings than every single one of those other SOBs, hit that sub button. I promise you, we'll keep you up to date. Let's continue to talk now about free agency and some stuff that could happen this offseason. Anthony Barr, one of the most well-respected linebackers in the National Football League, and Kevin O'Connell spoke with the media about the defense and what could potentially happen. He didn't come out and say that Anthony Barr's coming back, but he teased it, and the way that he did, it was kind of like, Anthony Barr, and I'm like, all right, yeah, you guys want Anthony Barr back. I get it. I understand he's a free agent. The linebacker position is easy to replace usually, but if you can go ahead and get a guy like Barr who means a lot for that locker room, a lot for that city, I do think if you have a chance to bring him back, you go ahead and do so. Kevin O'Connell, this is what he had to say. With linebackers Eric Kendricks and Anthony Barr, those guys have long been huge issues for people in their league defensively. I think there's ways to use those guys and allow them to play with an attacking mindset while they're still responsible for the things they're responsible for defensively. And then I think we've got players both internal and on the edges defensive line that can impact the quarterback. Now, the linebacker position is important. Building the front is important, but I watched some Vikings football this past season. I'm sure y'all did as well. And one of the biggest issues was the cornerback room, the defensive backs room. If you're giving up just big-time plays, I get you were hoping that Patrick Peterson would be that elite corner. He's just not anymore at that current juncture. You didn't plan on everything happening with Jeff Gladney. Breeland was a kind of a wasted pick. Mackenzie Alexander is just somebody that you can throw in the nickel here and there. What's next for a guy like Harrison Smith? Yes, I like Cameron Dantzler, but there was so many trade rumors around him. You need to find some more depth at that cornerback position that really helps you bolster that because, let's face it, if Justin Fields takes the next step, if Aaron Rodgers is still the quarterback there, you got to have a halfway decent secondary. Now, Anthony Barr can do a lot of stuff on the defensive side, no doubt. But what did Cano say? If you can just let Barr attack the quarterback and do what he's meant to do, stop the run, get after the QB, not have to worry about covering anybody, then he's going to be at his absolute best. I get it. He had 3 interceptions, but that's not when Barr's at his best. So what is your confidence level in Barr returning in 2022? Try to scale it for me. 1, you're not confident in all. 10, you're really, really confident that Barr is going to be coming back to Minnesota. Now, I am going to end today's show with a little bit of hype because I love the offseason, right? Because every team can win the Super Bowl in the offseason. Dalvin Cook spoke out about his confidence in the whole new regime in Minnesota, and I bet you if I would have asked him that last question, he probably would have said 11th in terms of confidence scale. But he thinks that the Vikings are winning the Super Bowl. The Minnesota Vikings are going to win Super Bowl 57, according to Dalvin Cook. Now, I get it. Minnesota hasn't played with O'Connell yet, but what do you expect your guy to say? Would you rather him go on an interview and be like, honestly, God, I don't even think we're going to be good? If he said that, we'd be even freaking out even more about it. So here's what Cook had to say. We gonna win us one. We gonna win us one. We gonna win us one. We working, though. I mean, like, Cook is one of those fun running backs. He's put in a lot of work, and I get it. You might want to pump the brakes a little bit on the whole Super Bowl 57 thing, especially if Kirk Cousins is your quarterback. But what do you expect him to say? I like the confidence. If you can go out and get a top quarterback and continue to build that defense, yeah, you're going to be in the whole mindset of going out winning a Super Bowl. But it's year one. With the regime, you still got time to go. So how about this? Instead of Super Bowl, will the Vikings make the playoffs? Playoffs, yeah. Type P for playoffs. Or you're like, no, they're going to be sitting at home again. It's going to be interesting to see with this division, but seriously, let me know. P for playoffs or H for home.